The Ark of the Covenant has always been shrouded in mystery and power. This sacred artifact mentioned in the Bible carries with it stories of miracles, falls of walls, and inexplicable phenomena. But where is she now? Is the Ark just a myth, or does its disappearance hide something much bigger? For some, it is still the key to understanding divine power. Their search reveals not only a desire for connection with the sacred, but also an insatiable hunger for answers. So what can the Ark of the Covenant really teach us? Let's unravel together this enigma that defies faith and reason. Exodus 25:10-11. And they shall make an ark of acacia wood. Its length shall be 2 cubits and a half, its breadth a cubit and a half, and its height a cubit and a half. And you shall cover it with pure gold. Inside and outside you shall cover it, and make a crown of gold around it. The Ark of the Covenant is one of the most enigmatic and powerful objects in the Judeo-Christian tradition, carrying with it mystery and reverence. Considered to be God's own abode on earth, the Ark is described as a sacred chest made of acacia wood and coated in pure gold. Inside it rested the tablets of the law given to Moses, symbolizing the divine covenant between God and the people of Israel. Its spiritual meaning goes beyond a mere object. It is a constant reminder of divine power and the need for faith and obedience. As an archaeologist in search of a lost treasure, exploring the mystery of the Ark is like entering the unknown. The impact of the Ark of the Covenant on religion is profound, permeating centuries of history and beliefs. This sacred artifact was not just a golden box, but a conduit through which divine power manifested on earth. In Scripture, we see the Ark playing a key role in Israel's victories and tragedies. Anyone who dared to approach without divine authorization suffered severe consequences, reinforcing the perception that she was not just a symbol, but a true manifestation of God's power and presence. Imagine the thrill and terror of carrying such responsibility into battle, knowing that every step was guided by something far greater than human comprehension. In addition to its religious significance, the Ark of the Covenant fascinates with its symbolism and the promise of power. She has become an icon in popular culture, being depicted in movies, books, and conspiracy theories that attempt to decipher her fate. In fact, many seek to understand the mystery behind his disappearance and what he represents in modern archaeology. The Ark of the Covenant still calls us, like a riddle that remains unsolved. What would be its final destination? And what does his relentless search say about our own thirst for connection with the divine? These questions lead us to explore its origin and construction. Exodus 25:16. And you shall put the testimony in the ark which I will give you. Exodus 25:22. And there I will come to you, and speak with you from above the mercy seat, from the midst of the 2 cherubim that are on the ark of the testimony, all that I command you for the children of Israel. The construction of the Ark of the Covenant is described in great detail in the book of Exodus, Exodus 25:10-22, where God instructs Moses on each measure and material to be used. Made of acacia wood and overlaid with pure gold, the ark symbolized not only God's glory, but also his perfection and holiness. Gold represented divine royalty, while acacia wood, known for its durability, symbolized the incorruptibility of God's presence. Each element chosen had a profound purpose, uniting the material and the spiritual in a unique and mysterious way. The original purpose of the ark was to serve as the central point of worship in the tabernacle, where it would rest in the Holy of Holies. There, on the mercy seat between the 2 golden cherubim, it was believed that the presence of God was manifested. More than a mere symbol, the ark was seen as the point of direct contact between the Creator and his people. To carry the ark was to carry God's own covenant, a responsibility and privilege that not everyone could bear. Let us imagine the respect and fear that permeated every movement around this sacred object, which contained the tablets of the law, the essence of the divine agreement. The materials used in the construction of the ark also carried deep symbologies. Gold, a precious and unalterable metal, represented the purity and glory of God. Acacia wood, on the other hand, resistant and durable, indicated the strength and immortality of the divine word. For scholars of religion and archaeology, these material choices were not random, but carefully thought out to convey a spiritual message. Thus, the ark becomes a bridge between the tangible and the intangible, an invitation to reflect on the power it truly symbolizes. This mystery expands even further when we consider the powers attributed to her. Joshua 6:20. And the people cried out, and the priests blew their horns. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the horn, that the people shouted with a loud shout, and the wall fell down. And the people went up into the city, each one in front of him, and took the city. Throughout biblical scripture, the Ark of the Covenant is described as possessing miraculous powers that manifest divine power in unquestionable ways. One of the most impressive accounts is the fall of the walls of Jericho, Joshua 6. Marching around the city with the ark in front, the Israelites, in obedience to divine instructions, saw the impenetrable walls of Jericho crumble to the sound of trumpets and shouts. This event is not only a show of strength, but a symbol of how mystery and the power of faith can turn the impossible into reality. Another fascinating account is that of the parting of the Jordan River, Joshua 3:15-17, where the ark, when carried away by the priests, caused the waters of the river to stop flowing, allowing the people of Israel to cross safely. This manifestation of power reinforced the idea that the ark was more than a simple object. She was an instrument of miracles and divine interventions. Each event associated with the ark feeds the mystery about its true nature. Is it a direct channel of God's will, or an object with mystical properties of its own? This question reverberates to this day among scholars and theologians. The episodes of Philistine defeat and the plague of tumors, 1 Samuel 5:6, add another layer of complexity to the power attributed to the ark. When captured by the Philistines, the ark brought devastation to the cities that housed it, as an unstoppable force that could only be tamed by the chosen people. These accounts strengthen the interpretation that the ark was a direct manifestation of God's power, reflecting his justice and sovereignty. However, there are those who believe that these attributed powers could also be seen as an archaeological mystery or a tool of religious control. Thus, the role of the ark in Israel's history proves to be even more intriguing. 1 Kings chapter 8:6. So the priests brought the ark of the covenant of the Lord to its place, to the oracle of the house, to the holiness of holiness, even under the wings of the cherubim. The Ark of the Covenant has played a central role in Israel's history, being a symbol of power, faith, and mystery at crucial moments in their journey. During the conquest of Canaan, she marched at the head of the Israelite armies, guiding and protecting God's people. His presence was a sign that victory would come not by force of arms, but by obedience to divine power. The Ark was seen as the true leader in battle, a presence that inspired courage and awe, transforming the destiny of an entire nation. It was not just an object, it was God himself walking with them. In the first temple of Jerusalem, the Ark occupied the holiest place, the Holy of Holies, where only the high priest was allowed to enter once a year. There, it not only symbolized the covenant between God and Israel, but also functioned as the point of greatest divine closeness. The Ark represented the axis of the Israelite faith, the invisible link between the human and the sacred. The story of the temple cannot be told without the presence of the Ark, which caused the very heart of Israel to beat to the rhythm of the deity. Her secret location and unique role reinforced the mystery that had always surrounded her. The disappearance of the Ark, with the destruction of the First Temple and the Babylonian exile, marks one of the greatest mysteries in religious and archaeological history. This tragic event not only meant a physical loss, but also a spiritual crisis for Israel, as if the covenant itself had been broken. Since then, the Ark has become a symbol of search and hope, an absence that speaks louder than any presence. His mysterious disappearance continues to intrigue believers and scholars alike, fueling theories about his possible whereabouts. This mystery leads us to the next stage of the journey, the theories surrounding his disappearance. 2 Chronicles 35:3. And he said to the Levites, who taught all Israel, and who were consecrated to the Lord, "Put the holy ark in the house which Solomon son of David, king of Israel, built. You will no longer have it on your shoulders. Now serve the Lord your God and his people, Israel." The disappearance of the Ark of the Covenant is one of the greatest mysteries of archaeology and religion. Some scholars believe that the Ark was destroyed during the Babylonian sack, an event that marked the end of Jerusalem's first temple. For others, however, the Ark was hidden by zealous priests in secret caves, such as Mount Nebo, where it would have been protected from the reach of invaders. This idea of a secret hideout perpetuates the allure and mystery surrounding the Ark, as if it is just waiting to be rediscovered, still radiating its power and promise. One of the most popular theories suggests that the Ark of the Covenant may be in the city of Axum, Ethiopia, inside the Church of St. Mary of Zion. According to Ethiopian tradition, the Ark was brought there by Menelik I, son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. The Church claims to be the keeper of the true Ark, and only one priest has the privilege of seeing it. This theory, surrounded by local accounts and myths, raises heated debates about the authenticity of this claim. However, the mystery and power of his narrative are irresistible, keeping the flame of curiosity and faith alive. In addition to these possibilities, there are also alternative theories and even popular fictions that attempt to explain the fate of the Ark. Movies like Indiana Jones and pop culture stories fuel the imagination and perpetuate the idea of a sacred treasure hunt that never ends. These fictional narratives, while creative, often draw on fragments of historical truth, mixing myths and facts. The mystery of the Ark's disappearance inspires both imagination and scientific research, prompting archaeologists and theologians to explore deeper. It is this desire to discover truth that leads us to the encounter between modern archaeology and faith. Deuteronomy chapter 10, 1-2. At that time the Lord said to me, "Work for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and go up to the mountain to me, and make for yourself a chest of wood." The search for the Ark of the Covenant has attracted explorers, archaeologists, and theologians over the centuries, each in their attempt to unravel the mystery surrounding this sacred artifact. Expeditions have been launched in various parts of the world, from the Middle East to the mountains of Ethiopia, in hopes of finding physical evidence of the Ark. However, between myths, legends, and the absence of hard evidence, modern archaeology faces significant challenges. This clash between faith and science creates an intriguing environment where the mystery of the Ark's disappearance intensifies even more. For contemporary archaeologists, the search for the Ark is a mission that goes beyond the mere discovery of an object. It is an attempt to connect the present with a sacred past. However, the limitations of archaeology are evident when it comes to an artifact so shrouded in mystery and belief. The challenge is not only to find the Ark, but also to interpret its absence or presence in a way that respects the faith of those who believe in its power. It's like walking the fine line between the visible and the invisible, where truth can hide between the lines of history and interpretation. Modern archaeology, as advanced as it is, often comes up against the limit of what it can explain. The Ark of the Covenant is an example of how the search for the divine can transcend simple scientific inquiry. The mystery and power associated with the Ark continue to inspire not only explorers, but also ordinary people who see in their quest a reflection of the eternal search for something greater. Thus, the Ark stands as a link between what is tangible and what is spiritual, leading us to reflect on its role in spirituality and popular culture. Hebrews 9:4, which had the golden censer and the Ark of the Covenant covered with gold all around, in which was a golden vessel containing manna and Aaron's rod that had blossomed and the tablets of the covenant. The Ark of the Covenant transcends its role in religious scriptures and becomes a powerful symbol in the spirituality of different traditions. In Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, the Ark is seen as a symbol of unwavering faith and divine power that defies human comprehension. In each of these traditions, the Ark represents the divine presence among men, a direct connection with the mystery of the sacred. It evokes a sense of awe, reminding everyone that there is more to the world than meets the eye. His narrative, as old as time, continues to echo in the minds of the faithful. In popular culture, the Ark of the Covenant is often portrayed as an object of untold power, capable of triggering supernatural events. Movies such as Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark and adventure novels brought the Ark into the popular imagination, mixing history, archaeology, and mystery. These depictions help keep the fascination with the Ark alive, connecting generations through suspense and adventure. While film and literature explore the Ark in the light of entertainment, they also invite people to reflect on the power that the unknown wields over our minds and hearts. The continuing fascination with the Ark of the Covenant, whether in theology or popular culture, reveals something profound about human nature: the desire to understand the mystery and power that surpasses the ordinary. The search for the Ark is actually a search for the divine and the unknown. What the Ark represents goes beyond a simple object. It is a symbol of faith, power, and the eternal search for answers that touch the soul. This reflection opens a portal for us to consider the Ark as a spiritual metaphor, rich in symbolism and lessons for the modern world. Psalm 132:8. Arise, O Lord, to thy rest, thou and the Ark of thy strength. The Ark of the Covenant, over the centuries, has become more than a sacred artifact. It became a powerful metaphor for faith, obedience, and divine power. For many, the Ark symbolizes the direct connection between the human and the heavenly, a reminder that the sacred can dwell among us, even in times of uncertainty. This metaphor resonates especially today, when the search for meaning and purpose is increasingly present. The Ark reminds us that the mystery and power of faith still have a vital role to play in the human journey. In the spiritual context, the Ark can be seen as an invitation to introspection. It challenges us to reflect on what we really carry in our hearts and how we position ourselves in the face of the unknown and the divine. The search for the Ark can be interpreted as an internal journey where each of us must face our own fears and mysteries. For those who feel lost, this metaphor suggests that the power and presence of something greater is always within reach, waiting to be discovered within ourselves. In the modern era, where materialism often dominates thought, the Ark of the Covenant stands out as a symbol of the search for the transcendental. It provokes us to question our relationship with the divine and our own existence. When searching for the Ark, what are we really looking for? The answer may not lie in a hidden artifact, but in the very search for understanding, meaning, and connection to something greater. Thus, the Ark continues to inspire us to explore the mysteries of faith and to reflect on what humanity is truly looking for in its relationship with the divine. And now that you know the secrets of the Ark of the Covenant, what are you going to do with that knowledge? Is the search for the Ark more than just a historical curiosity? Perhaps it reveals the human need to understand the mystery of divine power. What are you looking for in your own journey? Ponder how these teachings can transform your worldview and faith. Don't let the mystery stop here. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue exploring these fascinating topics and discover how the past can illuminate your spiritual future.